Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingerSlyShop.com. Bringing another time video this week. It's a cool one. It's a streamer pattern slash Euro jig slash whatever, but it's meant to fish on the bottom. Get you down there. It's going to be a great point fly. It's a Perdigon. It's actually a Perdi Minnow, we're calling it, and it's made to get down to the bottom, bouncing off the bottom, and imitate just a small minnow fry bouncing across the bottom. And it has the great profile for it, everything you're looking for profile wise, and it'll be a great point fly to get you on the bottom for whatever dropper you want to fish. But anyway, I want to tell you guys, I'm giving you one more week to get entered on Instagram into our drawing for our giveaway that you saw in last week's video for our 10,000 subscribers. So head on over to Holsinger's Fly Shop on Instagram, tag 3 friends, and do all that stuff and get entered. Don't miss out on that. Also, I want to tell you one more thing. We got size 20 jig hooks. I'm showing you the jig hook here today. We're tying the fly on a jig hook on our Holsinger's Fly Shop jig hooks. We just got them in size 20. We're really excited about it. So head over to the shop and order some size 20 jig hooks if you're into tying on jigs. So anyways, guys, here I'm going to quit talking and get into the video for you. Here you're going to see the fly in the vise and then the material list to tie it. Okay, here we see the Perdi Minnow in the vise. Cool looking little jig. It's going to do great for you. Let's get into tying it. I'm showing it to you this way because that's the way it's going to ride in the water. So you're going to have your back on the top here. We're going to make it darker on top in the end here, and the light blood spot on the bottom. But let's get into tying it. Let's put the hook in the vise. For a hook, I'm using a Holsinger's Fly Shop jig hook in a size 10. And I'm just going to throw out a little reminder there in case you didn't know. We just got the jig hooks in a size 20 this week. So if you want a smaller version, you can hop on our website and get it in a size 20. The bead I'm using here, this is a 3.8 millimeter nickel slotted tungsten bead. And for a thread, I'm using 140 Denier white. I'm just going to push my bead up here tight. I'm going to wrap a ball of thread right behind it so it locks in place and doesn't move around. Then we're going to trim off our tag end here. And then we're just going to wrap this back to the bend. And I'm going to stop right where it starts to bend there. Now we're going to put our tail on. For the tail, I'm going to use some white Marabou. And what I want, I'm just going to pull out the feathers here. This is the tips. You can pull out a clump of them. And I want to go about the length, maybe just a hair longer, but I want to stick with about the length of the jig hook. We're just going to hold it down and tie it into place. We're just going to wrap it back to that bend again. Now, I am going to build up just a touch of body here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this right up to the bead and trim it. And then we're going to wrap this down. I start out with some loose wraps and then wrap tighter to get it all smoothed out. Now I'm going to add just a touch of flash to this. Going to use some just some pearl crystal flash. And I'm just going to take like 2 strands of it. Run it down the side here. Again, back to where I stopped my tail. Get it on the side where I want it, and then I'm going to pull those 2 strands over the other side. And make sure I get them tied in place where I want them. And then we can pull them back here and trim them off. Okay, now for the body on this fly. I'm going to use some pearl braidback. This is the pearl color. You could use the pink color would also work nice here, give you a nice rainbow look to it. But I'm just using this pearl ice. And I'm going to create a taper like a perdigon. That's why we're calling it the Perdi Minnow, because I'm going to build this up and create a taper here up onto my bead. Now, I don't want to get too big because this pearlback is going to, or braidback is going to create a little bit of body too. So we're just going to wrap this on side by side wraps, keeping it nice and smooth. Get it right up there to that bead. And we're going to tie it off and trim. Okay, now we're going to get into the finishing of this fly. So we're going to whip finish this off, and the rest is without thread. Oops, that's fine. Okay, now this is going to be the bottom side of the fly. So for the bottom side, I'm going to take some orange or some red. I like the orange on here. Just a Sharpie, regular orange Sharpie. Making a little blood spot there on the bottom. Then I'm going to flip it over, and this is going to be the back of the fly now. What's underneath the hook point is now going to be the top of the fly. So the back of a minnow is always darker than the belly. So I'm just going to put a green stripe right down over the back there. Try not to bleed it over the sides too much. And then I'm going to come in with some Solarez Bone Dry. You could, if you wanted to, you could put like some Gulf if you had it, or something. You could have made a little hot spot down there, a little bump, like a perdigon, like a shellback. But I just like to use the markers. That way I can have a little freedom in what color I use too. So I'm just going to cover this up with Bone Dry. And this is where that rotary vise comes in real handy. I can keep spinning it around so I keep it smooth. So we're going to put a nice coat on there. Now I'm going to come in with some living eyes. These are 3mm ice colored. You can use whichever color you want, but I'm just using some ice. I'm going to set this right where the bead, you can see there right where the bead meets the body. I'm going to put one on each side. They have a little bit of stickiness to them, which will hold them there. Hold them there long enough to get some more Solarez on top of it. So just put it in place. And then I'm going to come back in with some more Solarez. Kind of dab it to try to get it underneath it, to lock it into place. So I'm going to get it in place there where I want them. And then I'm going to come back in for one last coat here. And just smooth everything out. Make this a little fat head on it, but just smoothing everything out and locking them eyes in place. And that's all that's to it. So it's a pretty cool fly. It's going to be a great little jig pattern. You can swing this. What'll also be nice, you know, you can get a little weight to cast your Euro rig with this. But it's going to get down on the bottom, bounce around on the bottom, and it'll catch a fish. So there you go. There's, like I said, there's how it's going to ride in the water. And have fun, guys. Have fun tying it. Have fun fishing it. Alright guys, I hope you like that fly. Pretty simple fly. Going to be an effective pattern because it just checks off all the boxes for a Euro pattern. Profile is great. Size is great. For a minnow pattern, this is, you know, 1.5 inches long. Perfect right in there, that small minnow fry pattern. And, you know, it'll be a great little rainbow imitation. So have fun tying it. Mess around with your colors like I always say. And don't forget to go over to our Instagram page and enter in our drawing. So one more week, I'm going to name the winner next week on the show here. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you need the materials to tie this fly, go down in the description. Click on any of the links to it, and you can go directly to our webpage for the materials. So until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.